This is episode 8, I believe, of the VB series, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at decision making. So, to get us started, right here, I already have a module called program as well as a subroutine, the main method that is. One thing that I didn't mention in my previous tutorials, rather in the previous episodes, is the main purpose of having this main program. So you realize that when you create your Visual Basic programs, right, you are going to have a lot of subroutines, as it were. So how then does the VB compiler know which file, or rather which module is the entry point, is it? So this main method, right, the main method is going to be the entry point for any Visual Basic program that you're going to write. So this main method is actually the one that's responsible for invoking other methods, as well as just making sure that your code runs overall. So the main method, whenever you're going to write your VB program that you intend to run, always make sure that you always have this main subroutine, as it were. So anyway, having said that, let's actually go ahead and look at the first way to get to make decisions in Visual Basic. So you can go with an if statement without an else clause. So this one is just a standalone if statement, and maybe let's actually declare a variable called balance. Then we'll declare it as maybe let's use double, and let's declare it as a double. Then what we can do is we can then assign a value of 78 to balance. Then let's say this is a banking application and we are going to want a user to pay for something using their credit card or whatever payment facility that we are using. So the first thing that you always want to do is to make sure that balance is more than 0, is it? So if balance is more than 0, we're going to need to perform something. So maybe we can go console dot writeLine. Then we can say proceed to check out. Right, so the customer can proceed to the checkout section if they have a balance that is greater than 0, right? Then let's actually go ahead and run this code and see what we have going on. So this is the output, right? Proceed to checkout. So that's the if statement without an else, is it? So basically, the whole point of having an if statement is to make sure that you are checking a condition, and in this particular instance, the condition that we are checking is to see if the balance is greater than 0. So if the balance is greater than 0, we want to do this. Anything that is inside of the body of the if statement, that's what we want to do, right? Otherwise, if the balance, let's say maybe we make the balance negative 78, right, we're not going to get any output. So let me just go ahead and do that. Run, and you see that we don't get any output in the console, is it? Because our balance is not greater than 0. It's actually less than 0, so nothing's going to happen. So how do you then handle such a situation? Well, so that is where an else clause comes into play, is it? So an else clause basically is going to allow us to perform the alternative decision or the alternative path, is it way. So maybe let's say if the balance is not greater than is not greater than 0, we want to say insufficient. I want to tell the user that we have insufficient funds in the account, right? That's what we want to do. Then let's go ahead and run this, and you see that we get insufficient funds printed down in the console there. So insufficient funds. So yeah, I think that's the if and else statement in action. Then of course you can also do a concept called nesting of if statements. So suppose maybe we have a balance of greater than 0, right? Then we can also check to see maybe let's say we can then say let's declare up here, let's declare discount as a boolean, right? Then we can then come down here and say discount is equal to true. So what we can do is we can actually use nesting in this particular instance. So we can check to see if the balance is greater than 0. Then inside of that if statement, we can also have another if statement. So we want to check if discount. So basically, since discount is an if state, is a boolean condition, so we just simply want to check if discount is true. Then we can do something inside of here. So maybe we can then go ahead and say proceed to checkout. So this section lines 9 to 12 are demonstrating a concept called nesting. Is it whereby you are having an if statement within another if statement. So you can actually do that as well in Visual Basic. Alternatively, if you don't want to nest your if statements, what you can actually do is you can use your logical operators, right? That is your logical AND and or and not as well. So what you can do is we want to check if balance is greater than 0 and discount, right? So essentially, if the balance is greater than 0 and discount is true, right, you simply want to print proceed to checkout. Otherwise, you're going to print insufficient funds. So in this particular instance, it's actually supposed to output what? Proceed to checkout, because both our conditions have been satisfied. That is, the balance is greater than 0 and the discount is true, is it? So that's how you can go about making an if statement. Actually, I've demonstrated with an else here. So maybe let me just change the comment up here and say if statement, right? So that's how you can do that. Then let's actually go ahead and look at an alternative way to make decisions. So in this particular instance, we want to use a select case, is it? So I can go select case. That's what I can do there. Then we want to, maybe the best way to declare something will be up here. Of course, it's not to say that if I don't declare it up there, it's not going to work. I would declare anything, but it's just a way of keeping things organized. So maybe let's declare a variable called grade as a character, a single character, that is to say, or char. Then we can set grade to, maybe let's make it a B. Then maybe let me just collapse these if statements so that we have space on the screen. Right, so what we want to do is we want to create we want to check if a user has a particular grade, is it? So we can go select case. Then if they have a particular grade, let's say they have an A, we just want to output a comment for someone with an A. So maybe the comment will be excellent, right? Then for a B, very good, and so forth and so on. So select case grade, is it? So now what we can do is we can now put our test cases. So inside of the select case, we have your first case. So you have A. Then you want to console dot write line. Then we are going to output excellent result, maybe something like that. Then in the case that the user has a B, maybe let's say a B or a C, right? You can actually go ahead and say good result, right? Then maybe this, let's say this is an imaginary grading system that we are creating. So maybe let's just assume that for our particular case, a D is a pass, right? Then maybe we can go and say console.writeLine. It's a pass, right? Then let's say that the user didn't qualify to get any one of those 4 grades, is it? So the way you can end you can end a select case statement, you can end it with case else, is it? So the case else is going to be the default condition So the default condition basically is if you didn't get any one of those 4 grades, we are simply going to say you failed, is it? Or maybe we can just say invalid grade or something. It doesn't really matter, because the whole point is just to show you the select case. So case else, that's how you end a select case in Visual Basic. So let's actually go ahead and run this. And since our grade is a B, we should be getting a good result as our output right there. So you see that it outputs a good result over there. So yeah, that's how you can go ahead and make use of a select case statement to make decisions in Visual Basic. And you can also make use of an if statement as well, right? So yeah, I think that's just about it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.